Hempfield Township Board of Supervisors meeting is called to order. Tonight's meeting has been advertised and will be held in person and online using Zoom call-in information posted on our website. The video and audio is being recorded. Robert's Rules of Order will apply. In order to offer comment, you must be a resident or business owner in the township. Comments must be about the agenda item being discussed and are limited to 3 minutes. If speaking in person, please go to the podium, identify yourself by name and address before speaking, and sign the guest log on the table. If commenting on Zoom, follow the chat procedure. We provide time for public comment on any topic towards the end of the meeting. We will only take action on agenda items. Please join me and rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And now the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a lot of policemen in the room. So the first item on the agenda is the Police Award and Police Week proclamation. Chief Brubaker.
Sure. Do you want to read it? Okay, sure. So I'll just read the resolution here and then turn it over to the chief. Resolution 2026-15. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of East Hempfield Township Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of East Hempfield Township. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the East Hempfield Township Police Department has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service. Now, therefore, the Board of Supervisors call upon all citizens of East Hempfield Township and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 10th through 16th, 2026 as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies in which all of our people may enjoy in commemorating police officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities and, in doing so, have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. We further call upon all citizens of East Hempfield Township to observe Friday, May 15th, 2026 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or have become disabled in the performance of duty. Duly ordained and adopted the 6th of May, 2026 by the Board of Supervisors of East Hempfield Township.
Thank you. I'll have some words to say, but first, do I hear a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-15, designating the week of May 11th as Police Week?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Landis, seconded by Mr. Tran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes 5-0. I'd like to say, I'd ask Darren to read that. Darren and I are are in the fortunate positions on the board to be on the Public Safety Committee in the Police Department falls under that. And speaking for the whole board, I think we'd all agree, we're all very proud of the police department. We think it's a real treasure to the community, and we're just very proud to be able to work with them. At some point, we'd like to get a photo taken of everyone, so I'll ask all the policemen to stay and come up. And just the fact that you're all here is very it represents like your how close you are to each other and how much you care about these kinds of things. So that's fantastic. Chief, would you like to proceed and then do the photo?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we do the photo after?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a few of my comments are going to echo what Mr. Landis has already read, but before we get into the awards, I want to take a moment to recognize police officers in general. In 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. This was established by a joint resolution with Congress in 1962. National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence to honor the memory of the officers and the family and friends they've left behind. Thank you. Tonight we present 2 awards. Before we get started with that, and those awards are going to be the Annual Community Policing Award and the Officer of the Year Award. It's important to recognize that over the past year, many other honors have been awarded for exceptional performance. These recognitions have spanned a wide range of circumstances, from merit citations to life-saving awards, as well as unit citations for major incidents. The group of officers standing here today represent the best of the best, East Hempfield Township Police Department. We are made up of some of the most dedicated, talented, and professional officers anywhere. To each of you, I offer my sincere thanks. The families that are here to support you and stand behind you are also a critical piece of our puzzle that makes East Hempfield the best. Each of you are family to each other, you're family to me. Your support is essential, and none of these accomplishments would be possible without the strength and support of this system that we have. I'm going to let Lieutenant Chase read the Community Policing Award.
Awarded annually to an employee who has developed community partnerships, identified and solved problems, implemented new initiatives or programs, and/or promoted meaningful results from partnerships and problem-solving skills. This year, Officer Jordan Geisler is the recipient of the award. In addition to carrying out his regular duties, answering calls for service, making arrests, enforcing traffic laws, and maintaining a highly proactive approach to policing, Jordan consistently goes above and beyond in the area of community engagement. Jordan has made a deliberate and meaningful effort to build strong and positive relationships with River Rock Academy, a private school within the township that serves students who have experienced challenges in public schools across the county. Through his commitment and presence, Jordan has become embedded into the River Rock Academy culture. Jordan has earned the trust and respect of both staff and students by demonstrating fairness, consistency, and genuine care while visiting the school on a regular basis, and simply being someone the students and staff can lean on. The students know Jordan by name, they seek him out, and they genuinely look forward to his visits, which is an indication of the impact he has made. In addition to having had a positive impact on the staff and students at River Rock, Jordan has also dedicated several years to the Bigs in Blue program. Through the Bigs in Blue program, Jordan has given a tremendous opportunity to provide guidance and mentorship to youth who are involved in the program. Through these relationships, Jordan has provided stability and been a positive example, thus helping shape the lives of young people in meaningful and lasting ways. Jordan's willingness to invest time and energy into these connections speaks to his character and his commitment to making a difference to youth that extends beyond law enforcement. Additionally, Jordan also serves on the board for Beards for Brothers, an initiative that began here in East Hempfield Township. and has since grown into a larger community effort throughout all of Lancaster. Through this work, Jordan continues to demonstrate leadership, compassion, and a dedication to serving others in need. In sum, Jordan's efforts reflect the very best of community policing, building trust, fostering relationships, and making a lasting and positive impact both within the department and throughout the community. Jordan, for all of that and more, please come forward and accept this award.
Community Policing Award plaque.
Appreciate it.
And have the box.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up is the Officer of the Year Award. The annual Kenneth Nightinger Officer of the Year Award honors Kenny's legacy. Kenny left us too soon and is missed greatly. More often than not, his mom, Marlene, is here. I'm not sure I see her this evening, but most years she attends to be here to honor Kenny and to still be a part of the East Hempfield Township Police Department family. This award is presented to the officer regardless of rank or assignment who best exemplifies the department's sworn personnel during the year. The selection is based on professionalism, exemplary service during the previous year, so 2025. This year, we had a number of stellar nominations, but we can only select one. This year, Officer Brian Dillplane is the recipient of the award. Brian, could you come forward? Officer Dillplane was nominated for the Officer of the Year for his unwavering dedication to the profession and the department. Due to extenuating circumstances, Officer Dillplane served as an OIC, officer in charge, for the entirety of 2025. Officer Dillplane consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership, tenacity, and a strong work ethic, of which he's known for. While at the same time, effectively, he supervised and mentored the platoon, ensuring operational readiness, high morale, and consistent performance. Officer Dillplane did and continues to do an outstanding job balancing the role of a firm leader while having genuine care for his personnel as well. On Sunday, January 12th of 25, Officer Dillplane was serving a dual role, one as the OIC as well as field training an officer on her second day on the street. They were dispatched to an incident on the railroad tracks behind our station. It just happened they were arriving back to the station and were on scene almost immediately. As the call developed, Officer Dillplane immediately jumped into action, not only providing life-saving care to the 16-year-old female, but also communicating what resources were needed and how responders should access this difficult location within the township. After the incident, Officer Dillplane ensured all his personnel were okay and provided them with support and resources due to the traumatic event. On Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, the platoon was dispatched to a mental health crisis. They arrived as a female was exiting the house. They learned from the female that there were still two individuals inside the house and a male that had access to a firearm. Officer Dillplane was able to communicate with the female involved and get the other two individuals safely out of the house. The male then barricaded himself inside and refused to follow police directives. Officer Dillplane coordinated mutual aid and certain negotiators, which ultimately led to a safe and successful apprehension of the male subject. These are just two of the many incidents from 2025 that represent Officer Dillplane's exceptional skills and leadership. He exemplifies the core values of this department and consistently goes above and beyond expectations, while at the same time holding the platoon to high standards. He is assisted with taking reports, assisting with complex calls, mentoring, and encouraging younger officers who he's been supervising, encouraging them to grow and learn, while at the same time keeping up his traffic enforcement, which he's typically one of the top in the department, as well as conducting criminal investigations, truly leading by example. Officer Dillplane also led a major arson investigation from 2024 and filed charges in 2025. Quite honestly, the list goes on and on. Officer Delaplane is compassionate, humble, hardworking, and generally cares about the community, the profession, and the department. It's with great honor that I present him with his second Officer of the Year award. He was a recipient in 2019 as well. So typically, in years past, Finch Jeweler provides us with a watch that we get engraved for the Officer of the Year. But since this is Officer Delaplane's second award, we decided to do something a little different for him. So here is your plaque. Take that. So he's being presented with an engraved St. Michael pennant. So St. Michael is known as the patron saint of police officers and a symbol of protection and courage. We have a quality pennant, just engraved.
Thank you.
Yes, so. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Would you like your photo now?
Yeah, 1 second. I think Mr. Bennett has a few words he'd like to share.
Nothing really, well, it is important, but I just like to echo the comments of Mr. Johnson and the chief about the staff and the department that we have. It's an outstanding department, and all of you make a great contribution to it. Additionally, I want to thank the spouses and the families of the officers here and the officers that work for East Hempfield Township. You're a positive influence on the department, and I appreciate that very much. I'd also like to thank our current chief, Chief Brubaker, for the work that she's done here over the time that she's been here as she gets ready for retirement. I appreciate that, and I wish her well.
Okay, and as I sometimes quote our previous chairman of the board, Scott Wigglesworth, he always says this is his favorite meeting of the year, to take the opportunity to thank the police department. And I'd like to share that. And I think it's photo time now.
Are we in this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're in this one? I didn't dress to be in the photo.
You get behind someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna?
Gonna get a picture with the police?
Yeah.
We just stand back here.
Yeah.
Just stand back here.
I don't think they're gonna see us right
Should I get on the table?
Down front.
See Bob.
Get
Oh, she's getting
I ain't standing up. She does. Oh, my goodness.
Nice time.
No.
All right. All y'all, nice pretty smiley faces and say cheese, please. Pictures later. All right. Don't move. Lieutenant Chase. Go ahead.
Don't.
All right. Another thought? Cheese?
But maybe we should keep all the police here for her. I made that joke too.
Oh, God. Okay. I don't think I've ever met her uniform.
Well, that cleared out. Wow. I think they're done.
Right.
Let her get out. But Elsa's still here, so we're good.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is normally made up of routine items that typically require little review, discussion, or explanation. Are there any comments from the board on the three items on the consent agenda? No.
Nope.
From the audience and from Zoom? All right, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through C as presented?
Move.
Okay,
Oh.
go ahead. You good?
Mo- Motion by Mr. Bennett, second by Ms. Abbott. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda is 733 Dorsia Road, and it's a decision from the hearing on April 15th. And I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Pfeiffer, our solicitor.
Okay, thank you. As the board will recall, you had a hearing on April 15th regarding a modification request from Craig and Cindy Hammonds for 733 Dorsia Road. You did complete the hearing that evening. Testimony was closed. Following the hearing, I then spoke with each of you individually and polled you for your thoughts on the case. Based on my individual conversations with each of you, I then drafted a decision for your consideration this evening. The draft of the decision contains 33 findings of fact and 19 conclusions of law. I will read for you a couple of the conclusions of law so that the board will understand, or the audience will understand some of the rationale behind the decision. You folks have not had an opportunity to discuss this decision. It's been provided to you in draft, but there's been no further communication among the board members. This is a decision for your consideration. Certainly, you could decide tonight to reject the decision and vote a different way, and if so, I'll write another decision. But in terms of some of the conclusions of law that are set forth in the draft before you, some of those read as follows. Granting the requested modification permits the lawful use of the property for a single-family residence. Based on the testimony and exhibits offered by the applicant has demonstrated by credible evidence that strict compliance with the driveway design standards, and in particular, the requirement for the driveway off of Dorsia Road to be located at a minimum of 3 feet from the property line, exacts an undue hardship and is unreasonable. There is sufficient space to install the required 12-foot wide driveway as necessary for emergency vehicle access to the property. The flagpole portion of land that connects the property to Dorsia Road is 216.72 feet in length, whereas the flagpole portion that connects to Marietta Avenue is nearly 2.5 times that distance. Requiring the applicant to install a driveway that connects to Marietta Avenue comes with significant expense due to the topography, terrain, and distance, which this board finds exacts an undue hardship and is unreasonable. Based upon the deeds offered by the applicant and the record address for the property, it is clear to this board that the intent since at least 1968 was that access to this property would be from Dorsia Road. There is significant traffic along Marietta Avenue. A PennDOT highway occupancy permit would be required, and the angled point of access to Marietta Avenue would necessitate some level of redesign and relocation of the property lines and stormwater improvements in order to accommodate a driveway. As such, the board finds that requiring applicant to install the driveway off of Marietta Avenue is wholly unreasonable. A driveway with only 1.5-foot setbacks will not impact the neighboring property owners any more than a driveway with 3-foot setbacks. Rather, the anticipated impacts, if any, are equal. The modification is not contrary to the public interest. So the decision that you have before you grants the applicant's request for a modification of the requirements of Section 225-5.11H so as to allow the driveway to be installed from Dorsia Road and to be located a minimum of 1.5 feet from each property line. So that is the decision that you have before you. To the extent you are inclined to grant the application, you would need to make a motion to grant the application and adopt the decision. Alternatively, if the board decides to deny the application, that would be a different motion, and then I would again write to a different decision.
Yes. Shall we have a discussion amongst the board now?
Sure, now would be
Yeah.
an appropriate time, yes.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Bennett, any?
Okay, I'd like to start with, I want to thank Mrs. Piper for a well thought out recommendation. For me, it came down to the 15, or findings of fact, 15, 16, 17 through 21 in your note. And in addition to that, I also felt that after having walked the property, that the Marietta Avenue access just wouldn't be feasible really under any circumstances, although it's going to be expensive. That was my opinion. I also felt that with a Marietta Avenue access, there would be stormwater impact on a well-developed homes in the neighborhood. And for that reason, I agree with the recommendation.
Any other comments from the board?
I would just add that a lot of what I heard, a lot of the concerns that I heard, I believe, revolve around public safety. And we, as we all just witnessed, we have a great police force here in East Hempfield Township. I believe our public safety committee would be happy to hear from any residents who have further concerns after tonight.
All right. Any other comments? My view, I agree with Mr. Bennett. Thank you for Ms. Pfeiffer for summarizing this so well. I wish there was something we could do to make everyone happy, but it seems like when you are on Marietta Pike and look at that possible approach, it just seems fraught with hazards. And I'd also like to mention that our planning commission did review this. I was at that meeting and would agree with, as it says in this document, would agree with this. So I am supportive of this document and the findings and the conclusions. Any comments from the audience? Anything from Zoom? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion to accept the written decision as presented?
So moved.
Okay, and do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Landis, second by Ms. Abbott. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Schweitzer will coordinate with you getting everyone's signatures and then disseminate the decision to the attorneys who represented the parties at the hearing. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the recognition of achieving the rank of Eagle Scout for Aiden Bell. Yeah, I'll give it a second here.
Yeah. Is Aiden Bell not here?
Okay, Aiden, let's see, let me find my paperwork. Okay, Aiden Bell, who is a resident of East Hempfield Township, has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. And there is a resolution that we would like to make to recognize that. And so he would receive, there's a document that's in the back room now that has a statement about what achieving the Eagle Scout means, and the township would like to recognize him for that. So do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution 2026-14, recognizing the achievement of Aiden Bell to the rank of Eagle Scout?
Motion?
Okay, a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Tran, second by Ms. Abbott. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries 5-0. And as I said, the document will be signed and mailed to the leader of his Eagle Scout troop, who will issue it to Aiden at the ceremony recognizing his being an Eagle Scout. The next item on the agenda is the Leacock Township Little Conestoga Creek Foundation Allocation Agreement.
So in February of this year, the board approved a agreement for sharing the pollution discharges that the Little Conestoga Creek project created. And this is the agreement before you now that sets the tone and the cost for those pollution credits. They are asking for 40,000 credits at an amount of, I believe, 100 and, let me double check here. Not right. Sorry. The agreement stipulates the cost of those 40,000 credits, which will go to Little Conestoga Creek Foundation. It's not opening for me.
The credit.
Yeah.
It was all. That's the camera pass.
Oh, thank you. $328,800 is what Leacock Township will be paying to the Little Conestoga Creek Foundation based on the sharing agreement you signed in February.
Okay, yes, we've discussed this one, as Mrs. Schweitzer said, we've discussed this in the past, so this is kind of the last step in that process. So do I hear a motion to authorize signature on the agreement which allocates 40,000 project credits to Leacock Township?
So moved.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bennett, second by Mr. Tran. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda is Supplemental Appropriation Resolution 2026-16, providing for cash payment of the ordered street sweeper for $155,890.
This is, we had not included this in our 2026 budget numbers, so you need a supplemental appropriation to purchase the sweeper. The finance group met a couple weeks ago and reviewed the numbers and do agree that it should be a cash payment as opposed to a lease. So this document amends your 2026 budget to include that cost.
Right, thank you. And, do I hear a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-16, a modification to the 2026 budget to provide for the purchase of the Stuart Amos Street Sweeper in the amount of $155,890?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Landis, second by Ms. Abbott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next item on the agenda, it's just an item on the agenda, but it's kind of a big deal, very important. The topic is the acceptance of Chief Brubaker's retirement letter effective August 7th, 2026, and accepting the signed job promotion offer letter from Lieutenant Christopher Chase to serve as the Chief of Police effective with the swearing in on August 5th, 2026. Is, any discussion on that item?
Just a question.
Happy one. No, go ahead.
Are you sure, Chief?
It's the hardest, easiest decision I've ever made.
Thank you.
And just for the record, with all police officers under their contract, they have to reach a certain age and years of service. And Chief Brubaker has reached that point. So that decision could be made by her.
Okay. Well, I have a story to tell here. Now, this is such an important thing that I feel like the community may want to know how we ended up selecting a new chief. So when Chief Brubaker started, I believe in 2022, there were two lieutenants at the time, and both of them have done an outstanding job. There was a succession plan in place that, congratulations, and we really appreciate Chief Brubaker putting that in place, where one or both of the lieutenants received a lot of training to prepare just for this situation. When Chief Brubaker decided to retire, both lieutenants were asked if they wanted to pursue her position, and Lieutenant Christopher Chase did. At that point, we had to decide whether we were going to follow the succession plan or perhaps look outside, and the board decided with recommendations from our township management that we would like to follow the succession plan first and interview Lieutenant Chase to see what we all thought. So there were several interviews. First, Mr. Landis and I, as part of the public safety group, interviewed Lieutenant Chase separately. Then the whole board interviewed Lieutenant Chase. And if I may speak for everybody, it was very impressive. He answered all of our questions. I think we all had very good feelings about him. He had a plan in place and has a plan in place on things he can do to continue what Chief Brubaker put in place and maybe even make some improvements if that's possible. And we also had several recommendations from office people, people involved with East Hempfield. And we even, I thought, took an extra step of asking for references and interviewed, Mr. Landis interviewed the references, and I think they were all extremely complimentary. So we all felt very comfortable that we did our due diligence to find what we think is a fantastic replacement. And so that, thus, the job promotion offer letter to Lieutenant Christopher Chase. All right, anyone else want to add to that? No, okay. Thank you. All right, yeah, right. Okay, so do I hear a motion to accept Chief Brubaker's retirement letter effective August 7th, 2026?
So
moved.
a second.
Okay. A motion from Mr. Bennett, second from Ms.
Abbott.
Ms. Abbott. I'm turning red.
It's all
All,
good.
yeah, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Do I hear a motion to accept the signed job promotion offer letter for Lieutenant Christopher Chase to serve as the Chief of Police effective with his swearing in on August 5th, 2026?
So moved.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bennett and second by Mr. Landis. All those in favor? say
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Not yet.
The next item on the agenda is the topic of goals. So back in January, when the board typically selects goals for the year, we had 3 new supervisors, and I just thought it was early to establish goals, and I said we would talk about it again in May. So in the meantime, then, today, really, we don't have to go over this in great detail. I wanted to put it on the agenda so we could talk about it at this meeting to determine how do we want to do goals in the future. So the goals that we're currently working from, they were somewhat the same goals in 2015 I saw online. Like they were more general job description goals, but not like necessarily projects that are going on right now. So we could continue to do things that way. That's one option. Another option is, I think I pulled the wrong township. Oh no, this is the right one. On page 5 of the current township newsletter, there's township accomplishments and goals. And there's a list of 2026 goals that, Diane, would you like to talk about like where, how those were developed? Or Cindy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry.
actually, those goals are listed in your budget document and then transposed into the newsletter. So what happens with these goals is we look at last year's into this year's and then check with department heads and then create the goals list.
Okay, well, yeah, when I looked at those, I thought they were excellent and appropriate and the kind of thing that we can consider to have common goals between the board and the East Hempfield Township office. So that's another option that we can undertake. Or we could combine the two, or we could just say, we'll all have goals, but we don't necessarily have to document them as such officially. So it's a topic that anybody who would like to say something now, please do, or we can talk about it next meeting after you have time to think about it. So anybody have anything they'd like to share?
As far as the 2026 goals in our packet tonight, I think they're good. I think quite frankly they're adequate. I'd like to suggest that they be posted to the website and ask for community comment. Not only the people here tonight, but anyone that goes onto our website and can see. This gives you a good idea of what we're doing, what we're trying to do in the township. With some excellent projects. So that would be my recommendation at this point.
Okay, so Mr. Bennett, it sounds like you, at least to some extent, agree with what I said, like these are more pertinent project-related goals than what,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay. Any-
I like that idea. So you're asking us to come back to you with our thoughts on whether we want to develop more goals or we want to look at them differently? Just-
Yeah, I'm asking you, like, how do you want to do goals? Not what are your goals, but how do you want to do it? Like, do it the way we've done it in the past? Or do it more of with, these types of goals, and in fact, perhaps exactly these goals, because I think it really, as Mr. Bennett said, it hits the nail on the head pretty well of what I think we're trying to accomplish here too. So just, how do you want to do goals, not what are the goals?
Right.
And, if we all decide, we could decide right now that we like, make these our goals. We could do that now, or we could talk about it next meeting too.
Now that you throw that question out, I think we should give us a little time to think about it.
Yeah, and read through them again, because, yeah.
Okay, yep, that sounds very good to me. So that we'll ask that go on the next agenda, and we'll just continue this discussion then.
Tom, is that goals list you have, were we supposed to have that? I don't think I have
Well,
that.
it's in our packet. You got to sort of click on it and print it out.
Oh, you print, okay, thank you.
Okay?
On the, yeah,
Okay,
the packet, the agenda packet
was
that's
missing.
online.
okay.
The only other comment that I make about goals is that I think we should, as part of a goal-setting process, I think that we should review goals once or twice a year, perhaps in July and October, and see how we're doing on the goals and see if we're making progress, and to see if any of the goals need to be modified or adjusted.
Yeah, thank you. And I agree with that too. Because, these are the types of goals that we can complete, whereas the other goals were like, as I've said, it's more like job descriptions. You never finish, like monitor, cash inflow or, that kind of thing, cash position and things like that. So it's more a definite project that we're trying to achieve. So, yep, I agree. And then maybe we can formalize the process next meeting. Any comments?
Good.
Additional, anything from the audience or Zoom? Okay. Right, so that's,
Just so I'm clear, what we currently have, we're going to post them on the website then? I think, just for comment, it sounded like you were in agreement with Mr. Bennett's suggestion.
yes, does that sound appropriate for the people who put it on the website?
Sure, the newsletter is posted already on the website, so you want us to do a separate specific posting for the goals that are included in the newsletter? Is that, do I understand correctly? That's what you're asking?
With a request for comment, I think.
Yeah,
Yes, I do think.
Yeah,
that's what
I
we're
agree.
doing, Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. If that's doable. I mean, sometimes maybe we ask for silly things, but in this case, if that's doable, that's what we'd like. Any new business? Any public comment? Right, managers report?
Not too much, other than what you have printed before you. The Dairy Road Bridge is completed. It's got no equipment near it, so we need to have the final invoice on that, and then we can submit for the grant or the grant reimbursements and get that fully closed out. We have another sinkhole at the Center State Salon on Dale Drive, off of Dale Drive in Nisley. That is a sinkhole that's about 10 to 15 feet deep. So to do that, we were going to have to terrace the road out to get to it. Very expensive. So what the Public Works Director has looked at is slip lining, which you have that in the manager's report as a link. It's simply just a tube that goes into the the existing in place. So while it's more expensive than just digging it up on a normal job, this job, it's actually going to be less expensive. The cost for that, though, is about $40,000. So it's going to be a bit of a hit, but has to happen. Stormwater projects, the golf course Hark project is currently out for bid. Those are going to be opened on May 28th, and you'll probably have an award suggestion at one of your June meetings. The Little Conestoga Creek at Mercedes-Benz restoration project actually received their Army Corps of Engineer permit, and they have one comment on their DEP permit. So once that is accomplished, which could be already in place, that would be ready to look for grant funding. We don't have any funding currently, but those permits are good for 5 years. So we have some time to look for grant funding for that. That's the only way that would move forward. And we did have a finance group meeting. You have a copy of the report out for that, which I probably can't open. But maybe the finance group can help me out as to what was discussed, because my mind is currently blank.
Well, we discussed the street sweeper.
That's true. We discussed the street sweeper. You're right. Again, not finding.
We,
Yeah, so we discussed the street sweeper. We discussed some possible trash liens that are currently outstanding, and we're getting more information on that. We also got an update on the 2025 audit. I can tell you that that's going very well. We should have the necessary documentation to file our DCED report probably in June, as opposed to October of last year. So doing better there. And then there's a breakdown of what your CDs are that you're currently holding on your investments. That concludes the report unless there's questions. Thank you.
no,
Anything new in our long-awaited NPDES report for Idiot Springs Park?
Last time I checked the website, it lists June 22nd as a return date.
That would be a wonderful birthday gift for me. Thank you.
Mhm.
any, anything else? Okay. Nope. Okay. I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 6:54. Thank you.